All right, good morning, you guys, wherever you are. Maybe it's not good morning, but I just had a crazy idea. This video is gonna be all about the crazy things that happened in the orphanage, in my orphanage life. So if you don't know about me, or if you don't know me, my name is Svetlana. I am from Ukraine. I was technically born and raised in an orphanage, and I spent about 14 years in an orphanage, so until I was 14, before I was adopted and came over to US. So I just like literally got out of the shower and this thought came into my mind of this particular experience, and it got me going, and I was like, I have to share my story because it's crazy. So yeah, let's begin. This is gonna be pretty chill video. I have a few notes because honestly there's so many stories that I could go on, and I'm sure I will remake another video just because, again, this was my life and it was a bit complicated. And so this particular video might be a little bit shocking. If you don't know anything about like Europe, oh my gosh, the people love to drink, to smoke. I mean, where does it begin? I don't know. But all I know is that you could be 7 and your parents will tell you, here is a cigarette, go ahead and smoke, to like test them, you know, so then they like have a bad experience and they like throw up or can't breathe, so the kid like just remembers it as trauma and doesn't want to smoke again. So I've had like adults telling me stories, my caregivers telling me these stories, how they did that to their sons, in hopes of like preventing that you know, that kind of behavior as they get older. Anyways, so I remember since I was like 6, 7, I just remember being in an environment in the orphanage where I would always see cigarettes like on the ground, right? Like used cigarettes. And so it was just kind of always like in my life. Even as I got older in the orphanage, there's always older kids that sneaked, you know, alcohol and like would smoke all the time. And the worst thing is that we would have like, so imagine a building and there would be like certain spots around the building outside where people would gather and smoke in groups. I mean, people like kids, like the kids in the orphanage, anywhere from like 10, 11, all the way to like 16, 17, 18. So I was surrounded by that, and like I said, the crazy thing is like we would know those spots around the orphanage because every day each group of kids would be assigned to clean specific areas around the whole orphanage. And it's so crazy because it's like we would smoke and throw it on the ground. By the way, there's like no littering laws. Like people, you'll be like walking, eating a chocolate bar and throwing the wrapper on the floor, chips wrapper, like it's a mess. When I came to America, I was like, oh my gosh, America is so clean and I love it. But there's a lot of trash in Ukraine on the streets. And so we would like clean the orphanage and we would like hand pick those cigarettes butts. Like, I'm like, why would we like do that to ourselves? You know, we're the ones smoking and then the ones picking it up. I don't know. Anyways, so I wanted to talk and like share a few experience of my personal life. So this might be shocking to some, but I actually started like smoking cigarettes regularly since I was like 13. I did it before a few times, like here and there, but like on a daily and a few times a day when I was 13 years old. And I mean, there's really no like where did it all start or where did it come from. It really was like surroundings and just the people around me wanting to fit in with the older kids, you know, and wanting to impress them that I knew how to smoke, you know, instead of just like going like in and out, but like actually take it in into your lungs, which was horrible. Like, why would I do that to my young body? Just, I'm sad for my lungs. I'm truly sad, and I'm sorry. Just taking in smoke into my lungs. Anyways, so let's set this up. So one of the questions might be, well, how did we get cigarettes? So we actually like didn't have money, right, in an orphanage, but there was a store by the orphanage, like a little grocery store, where we would go to. And if we had like, the worst thing is that like cigarettes cost money. They're not just like $1. Like they're like more close, like back in the day they were like about $4 or $5, which is a lot of money because we did not have money. And so one way that we would get money is we would like go around the orphanage, and a lot of like outside people not in the orphanage for some reason love to drink on the border of our orphanage. And when, like I said, when people would drink, they would just like leave their bottles on the ground. And so we as the orphanage kids would go around, like get like, you know, 10 bottles of like empty bottles of like beer and stuff. And then what you could do is you could go recycle them at the store and get money that way, right? So there was like 10 cents a bottle. So we would have to get a lot of bottles to get to like, you know, the $4 to buy cigarettes. And then since we were like only 11, you can't get past the register, you know, looking and being this short and like a kid and say, can I get some cigarettes? Can I get some beer? Like, no way, they're not gonna let you do that. So we would either ask the older kids to buy it for us, or it's so crazy. A few times I remember like waiting outside the store for like the adults to go into the store, and I like would stop them and say like, hey, here's money, could you buy me some beer? Why? Like the courage, the things we would do for alcohol. Anyways, and some people would agree, and so they would buy it for us, but if not, then we would ask our older friends to buy it for us. So, and then obviously in the like orphanage, in the orphanage itself, on the territory, we were not allowed to have alcohol, and yet we would still manage to sneak it in. And so let me just look over. Oh, so I remember then, like, let's say we get our cigarettes or our beer, and then we like smoke. And I just remember this was so funny because our favorite brand was like Marlboro. I don't even know if that's how you say in English, but there is like the blue kind and the red kind, and the blue was like, you know, the lighter version, and the red was like really strong. And my favorite was the blue one. I like to take it easy. But so we would like smoke behind the store that was outside the orphanage boundaries, and then we would come. Me and my friends, we think we're so smart. We would already have perfume with us in our pockets. And this is so crazy. we would take like a hard perfume, like with alcohol and all the fragrance, right? And we did not want to get caught by our caregivers, because if you get caught, cleaning chores, there's more cleaning chores. That was like our punishment. And so if you got caught, we didn't want to get caught, so we would take the perfume and spray into our mouth, and it was gross. Like, imagine taking your favorite perfume and spraying it into your mouth, and it like burns and it's so strong. We would do that, and then we would load up on the lotion just so that we smell good, so that we didn't smell like cigarettes. And then we think we're so smart, you know, at 13 years old, we like go back to the orphanage, and our caregivers are like, well, where have you been? Like, I didn't see you on the playground, I didn't see you in the dorms, where were you? And these people, you know, they're just so smart. They're like, come here, and you know, you're gonna get, you know, you're gonna have to do like a breath test for them to check if you smoke. If you have been around a person who smoked, you can smell them miles away. Why would we think that a perfume or a lotion could hide that? It's on your clothing, it's in your hair, it's everywhere. You can't hide the cigarette smell. But this is me, just so confident, you know, acting like nothing happened. Come up to my caregiver and she's like, come on and like breathe. And this is me thinking I'm so smart. This is our technique, because people told me that it works. And I'd be like, so instead of breathing out, I would breathe in, but make the sound as if I was breathing out, in the hopes that, you know, the smell wouldn't go out of my like throat, but that I would be breathing in and that it wouldn't smell. So I'd be like, so dumb. Still got caught, still got chores to do, cleaning the whole freaking first floor of the dorm. Anyways, so then yeah, and then like I remember like it was my 14th birthday before I got adopted, and I was like, well, with my friends, what are we gonna do? Of course, we're gonna go buy vodka, we're gonna go buy champagne, some beer. So we managed to find a way to go to the store. I mean, 14, we still have to like ask somebody to buy it for us. It was the older kids, one of my like older friends, and then they buy it. I mean, I have like a bag of alcohol with me that I'm like dragging from the store into the orphanage, and our orphanage is pretty big, so I had to get around, like around the buildings, you know, into the dorm, through the first floor to the second floor. So I'm like coordinating with my friend, hey, while I like go in, you go ahead and distract the caregiver. I mean, it was a whole system, but it worked. And we, once they would leave at night, we would just go drink, and it was fun, you know, in the moment. But then you would get caught, because like there's no really way to like hide alcohol, like big massive bottles of vodka. Like, where would you hide it in your dorm? And so I would hide it behind my clothes in my closet. Well, every day they check everything, your living space. And my caregiver like opened the door, like checked, and there was some beer, you know, in my clothes. And then I like get back into my dorm, and she was like, what is this? I found this in your closet. And like, you know, a bottle of beer. More chores. Anyways, then a crazy time that I remember is, it was nighttime, right? After the caregivers leave, or about like 9 p.m. we have night ones that come in and like watch over while we sleep, but they were a little bit nicer than the day ones. They like let us go and hang out with our friends before bedtime sometimes. And so of course I had this crazy boyfriend and my best friend. We would get the cigarettes, right? Now imagine this, because I cannot believe I am still alive. Why would I do that? I don't know. But so my boyfriend lived on the third floor of the orphanage building. So we grabbed our cigarettes in his room instead of smoking in the room, because you know that's gonna like smell out the whole apartment space. So this is what we do. We would open the window, and I can't believe these stupid guys, my boyfriend and my best friend, let me do this. They showed it to me and then they let me do it. They're like, what you do is, so you know, like the window, imagine a window, and then like the outside, I don't know if it is like same here in US or maybe some houses, but there's like a little like brick that's sticking out, like an edge that you can technically stand on outside the window. So this is what they told me. You get on that, you go out of the window, you stand on there, you hold on to the window, but we're gonna close the window behind you. You're gonna be on the outside of the building, but we're gonna be on the inside, and you're gonna hold on to the window, standing on this small edge. Third floor of the building. And you can smoke that way. That way the smoke doesn't come into our room. And he showed it to me, and then they let me do it. I remember like standing on this small edge of this window on the third floor and telling myself, if I fall right now, I am dead. Why would I do that? So I didn't like it. No, I didn't like it, but I was playing it cool. It was my boyfriend, it was my best friend, I trusted them. They wouldn't let me down, you know? And I just smoked thinking, wow, this is awesome. But I'm like, if I fall, if I let go of this window, I am dead. Because they closed the window behind me. So the window like opens like this, and my hand was like this. So they just like close it behind me, like leaving just a little bit of space for my fingers. Anyways, it was horrible. Crazy story. So then I'm just looking over my notes because there's just so many crazies. I won't keep this too long, but another crazy story in the orphanage. So we have this, like I said, like the orphanage is pretty big, and there's like a big orchard of apple trees, and sometimes, and like our orphanage would be surrounded by gates so that like the outside world would know that this is the orphanage territory and they can't come in, but some people would still come in, right? And so one night after dinner time, it was about like 7 p.m. me and my friend, it was winter time, so like so much snow. And this is a bunch of trees, right? Because it's an orchard. We see a guy walking, and we recognize that it's not a kid from the orphanage. We recognize that it was an outsider. And so we like go to him through the trees. We manage like get close to him, and we're like, hey, how are you? You know? And he's like, I'm good. He's like totally drunk. So me and my friend are like, this is a perfect opportunity. So we like totally take advantage of this guy. We lead him because we know he's drunk and he's not from the orphanage. And in his head, he was older, so in his head he's like, these girls can't do anything to me, you know, these 13-year-olds, whatever. So we like strategically lead him to the store, right? The store that I said that we liked, and we bought a lot of, you know, things from there. We like grab his arm, you know, and we walk with him on each side, me and my girlfriend. And while we do that, we put our hands into his pockets to like search for money, which I'm sure there was like a $5 bill that we stole from him. So we like got the money, you know, and he's like totally like out, right? Because he's drunk. So, and he was pretty, like, I would say he was like about 25. So he wasn't like an old dude, like that would kind of be scary. He was, if we had to take him on or if we had to run away, we probably could. But so we like robbed him, right? And then we used his money, the $5 or however much, and like some change. We like guided him to the store and we said, hey, we have this money, would you please go to the store and get us some more cigarettes? And he's like, oh yeah, sure, you know, he's like all drunk. So he went to the store, got us some cigarettes, and me and my friend, we were so like mind blown. I could not believe that we pulled that off, that we just like robbed a guy and used his money to buy cigarettes. Why? Anyways, these are just some crazy stories, the things that we would do. And I think we were just really bored. I think we were all so influenced by the older kids. We wanted to be cool, we wanted to fit in, and since that's what the older kids did, I wanted to be like the older kids and do the same things. I do regret 100%. If I could go back in time, I would not smoke, I would not drink. It was not worth my energy. I'd rather buy a chocolate bar. But anyways, if you have any like things or requests that you would want to know more about the orphanage, let me know in the comment section. I am gonna be more consistent about my crazy Ukrainian orphanage stories. Because I really can't believe that that was me, and that I robbed people, and that I smoked and drank and did crazy things. Anyways, I'm gonna love you and leave you, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.